Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm a Master SoulPath Teacher and Guide. This is an intuitive message for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in Cancer. I'm going to look at a couple different things for you, Cancer, and this reading is done in the spirit of wanting to empower you, wanting to give you even more information, context, and a higher perspective so you can really understand the situation in front of you and any choices you might need to make. Ooh, Chariot wants to fly out. That's your card, Cancer, is the Chariot. But let's see what message is for you. All right, we're asking for messages from the divine that will help Cancer at this time. What is the situation? Okay, I'm going to be drawing all the cards at once, which is a little different. Okay. Situation, your reaction, what you can do, what you cannot control, growth, highest potential. All right. Situation, 5 of Wands, crossed with 4 of Cups. I'm just going to open these up so I can see what's happening. All right, Cancer, so 5 of Wands, a little bit chaotic in your situation right now, in your circumstance. A lot of change happening. It's kind of like the visual on this card. She's got a volcano erupting in the background. She's got flames coming up in the middle here, but she's trying to keep herself at peace by holding on to these beautiful white calla lilies. So I want to say that change is coming from the outside, Cancer, and this doesn't feel like it's change that you're asking for. Although at the same time, I don't feel like you're totally out of your depth. Like you kind of feel like you're at home in this change. So this is perhaps like a welcome change or a change that you were not expecting, but it's kind of like, oh, well, okay, yep, I'll go along with that. I keep getting the word sacred space, and we may be moving to your reaction, the 4 of Cups. You're trying to hold your own sacred space within this. Both of these cards are very inward looking. And so I think you're doing your best to retain your calm and to regain a sense of balance and inner healing. Just want to make sure that you're not missing. Okay, I see where this is going. Cancer, what you're doing is correct, but you need to draw in even deeper. You need to keep asking for deeper and deeper levels of information to come to you. So you're looking inward for that place of peace, for that place of calm. And I do think you are actively, the 4 of Cups, you are actively seeking that time out or seeking moments away from the chaos where you can just go into yourself and regroup and find your footing. But this is more than just reacting to the chaos and the activity and the excitement and change that's around you. Your higher self is actually forcing this to happen so that you have to go inside and regroup, but go to that deeper level. You know, this happens with me very often in meditation. I'll feel like, okay, I'm sitting there meditating, and I'll get some information from my guides, and then I'll just say, okay, well, that's nice. And then my guides will say, well, go deeper with it. And I have to sit there and question myself against the information I'm getting. And then I'll get to what I think is an insight, and they'll say, no, keep going. And so I'll have to keep asking questions and keep asking questions. And then I finally get to the truth of what they're trying to say to me. And so your process might be a little different, Cancer, but you're being drawn deeper and deeper and deeper. And I feel like what's happening here is that this is a transformation of your intuitive gifts. This is a transformation of your ability to pick up on energy, even when it's chaotic, even when it's crazy out, even when there's no way you feel like you can focus because your emotions are pulled in all sorts of ways. This is kind of like a gauntlet for your intuition. So when I was asking what is in your control, what can you do, we have King of Pentacles, which is recognizing the wealth of the wealth of the spiritual world, so spiritual abundance, and also wealth of the material world and how they come together. However, for you, I feel like the King of Pentacles is a reminder of taking some time out for your physical healing, that you do actually need to take a little time to make sure you're eating right and sleeping right and taking time by yourself, perhaps to even be in nature, like systematically go hiking or take some nature walks or do something, because it's very important that you stay grounded. Whenever we're going on an intuitive quest or a journey to increase our intuitive gifts or deepen our intuition, we have to stay grounded. We have to stay in our bodies. We have to stay present. A lot of times what gets us off of our bodies is like when we're not eating or we're having a very irregular routine and we kind of get up in this head energy, or another thing that can happen is your emotions can get heavy and you can get swept away by them, but the earth kind of gives you that grounding, gives you a stable anchor. So I feel like this is a big message from the King of Pentacles, is to make sure you're grounded, because King of Cups, Pisces card, is what you cannot control, which is emotion, which is flow, which is what's happening right now. King of Cups is actually your card as well. Cancer is represented on this card. But this is an energy that is connective through the heart. And so I think what's really wonderful here is that you're going on this transformation, this inner journey to release emotions that will help you connect more strongly with your intuition. King of Pentacles is providing the grounding, making sure that you're providing the grounding for yourself, because this is a healing journey for you, the Six of Swords. Now, how does the King of Cups relate to the Five of Wands here? Okay, I see. What's happening in the Five of Wands, like I said, that this is a situation that is chaotic, not that you've created, but it's just around you. This is designed actually by your soul and your higher self to bring up certain emotions, to bring up certain feelings, so that you learn how to be more like equanimous, is that a word? More kind of even keel when emotional storms or when emotional flow comes up. So this is challenging you. And like I said, Cancer, I think you're doing all the right things. You're meditating, you're staying grounded, you're staying balanced, or I want to say you're staying balanced. The reminder was to stay grounded. But this emotional flow is happening so that you learn how to experience emotional flow and not get carried away by the drama of it. How to invite and embrace emotions without losing your sense of balance, without losing your groundedness. And that's what's really being healed here. There's a healing going on between the earth and the cups elements. See, it's interesting because earth, when there's too much of it, it blocks out emotions. It soaks them all up and it refuses, it becomes hard and dry. It refuses to go to them. However, when there's too much emotions, all the earth is swept away and there's no stability. It's just constant chaos. And so there may be some kind of pull that was set up in your childhood between those two forces of emotional repression, but then also emotional like over release, where you just get kind of completely lost or completely swept away. The fact that these are both, it's funny because these are both the feminine energy kings, but they are masculine energy. It's really more the balanced masculine energy to me. But I do want to say this is more of a masculine healing. So maybe looking at your relationship with your father and how his relationship was with his emotions and how that affected your relationship with your emotions. Six of Swords is allowing you to really heal, to really experience emotions, to really feel them and not to run away from them, but also to not identify with them. It's like it's something you experience rather than something you become. Like we have a funny phrasing in English, I am sad. Just like I would say, I am Adriana, that's my identity, that's my name. But when we're experiencing an emotion, we identify, that's like me. Like if I am angry, then that's like me saying I am anger. I am anger personified. And that's kind of a weird trick in our language that probably has to do with the ego. Instead of saying I'm experiencing sadness or I'm feeling angry, we often just jump to the identification with it. I am angry, I am sad. And what I think is happening here is that you're learning a new language of experiencing rather than being. Knowing that there's still a grounded you while all of this different emotion is flowing and coming at you. That is going to help you release any stuck junk that has been in your psyche from your childhood. I feel a very strong inner child resolution happening with the Six of Swords. Now, highest outcome, High Priestess. And I love this because this card is ruled by the moon, which also rules Cancer. So this is like Cancer's superpower. High Priestess is the ability to connect to your intuition very strongly, to feel the power in your intuition, and to be unafraid to go to those dark, shadowy places because you have a hold on the truth. And that's really it. A lot of times our childhood traumas get stored in these dark places we don't want to go because we're afraid if we go back into the traumas, we're going to end up experiencing it again. That's our King of Cups. I'm going to end up feeling those feelings again, and I don't want to feel that way. What you're learning how to do is to not just detach from these experiences, but to see them for what they were, to acknowledge the experience without being pulled down by the emotion of it happening again. This is truly a big, I almost can't talk about it. It's too big of a healing moment right now because the High Priestess is going to teach you that it's okay to go down into the dark, that you don't have to slip and fall and lose your footing on the wet staircase, that you can stay grounded, that you can stay at peace, and you can stay very strong even while you're sorting through this and other people's junk. I'm finding this really interesting because I feel like this is a bigger message than just this week. This is like a big soul message for you because you have desired healing for a long time, Cancer. And I feel like this maps out for you how to get started. And it also predicts the power that you have the potential to tap into, the High Priestess, once you learn how to resolve these egoic identifications with emotions as this is who I am rather than this is what I experienced. The High Priestess's strength is trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, listening to that small voice, being very quiet and listening. And that's the deep listening that you're really being asked to do at this time. But in listening to that quiet, small voice, you have to be very brave and you have to be very grounded. The problem with being emotionally sensitive is that you can pick up on vibrations that can swamp your intuitive signal. I don't like to identify as an empath because unfortunately I think that victim consciousness tends to gravitate towards wanting to be called an empath. I know that doesn't sound right, that sounds kind of icky, but sometimes when we're so sensitive and we don't know how to manage that sensitivity, it feels like we have no control. It feels like we're always swept away by the whims of other people's or other environments, kind of situation or agitation. It's like we have no control. And until you learn how to be very grounded and very strong in your own energy and not shut off the empathy, that's kind of the other challenge. It can be very difficult to deal with strong emotions in yourself and strong emotions in other people. But this process is teaching you how to have that strength. I very much relate to this. I grew up more sensitive than what I realized. And so I developed a very kind of tough skin about it and tried to shut out everything that was coming in. But it's been a long process to undo that and to be willing to feel and to be willing to be vulnerable. But in that process, I really learned how to build up my grounding and build up my inner emotional strength to support that grounding. So I know it's possible. I know that this is very doable. And I see you going on a similar journey to that, Cancer, because there is a big power waiting for you. There is a big power, but until you can get this emotional process under control I'm going to say under control, it's going to be very difficult to tap into this intuitive power consistently. And I can't underscore the intuitive power of the High Priestess enough. This is psychic energy. This is clairvoyant energy. This is powerful energy that brings you the truth, brings you the awareness behind the scenes, what's really going on at the heart of the matter. This is like gold. Okay, so this is not something you just want to toss aside. This is definitely something that's worth working towards and fighting for. Okay, Cancer, thank you so much for joining me. If you are looking for help with this kind of journey, or you're at a crossroads, or you'd like to know, why is my soul here? What did I come down here to do? How does this relate to my daily life? Am I on the right track? Please do check out soulguidancewithAdriana.com. These are the kinds of questions and questionings that I love to help people with. And as I said before, having been through a similar process, I know this is possible. So there's also a link to my email in the description below, and I'll see you again soon.